Remember when we recorded Iron Man 2 during a fucking thunderstorm and I was terrified the computer was going to lose power?
Yeah, it was kind of really funny.
I was really stressed and, like, anxious to get it done.
If we lose this hour-long recording, it's never coming out.
To the point where, if we lose an hour-long recording, the series is done.
It's over.
It's over. Do you have an opening in mind?
Well, it says Aubrey introduces / summarizes.
Yeah, but we gotta do, like, the fucking... Submarates the movie.
Submarine.
I'm the one who provides the closed captioning for the deaf and what the fuck is it called when you just can't hear a little bit? Partially deaf.
Deaf and dying.
I was gonna say deaf and blind.
Oh, what?
Yeah, wait, narration wouldn't work for deaf people.
Yo, I love narration.
Narration for... Did I tell you?
Can the opening be me trapped in ice and then you mining like that one guy who's digging for diamonds?
True.
That should be the intro.
There was a time.
Now, can we rotoscope that?
No. Fuck, I can't think of anything funny. War.
War never changes.
What is it good for?
Captain America films.
Hey. Hello and welcome to Marvelocity. That's the name of the show. Look, I haven't recorded anything in a while. I'm a little rusty.
That's all right.
I'm Aubrey.
And I'm Jackson.
This is a show where we talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe in release order to see if they've held up or if they stink. And today we're talking about Captain America, the First Avenger. I have a feeling we're going to be exchanging words because I think our opinions are very... dichotomous on this one.
Dichotomous? You think we're split of two sides?
I think so. Because after we filmed the Iron Man, the first one, I said, I can't wait till Captain America. It's my favorite movie. A direct quote from you, that movie sucks dog shit. I hate it. Although I don't think we remembered what Thor and the Hulk were like when he said that.
The Thor and the Hulk were really bad.
I don't think we had the proper mindset.
Yeah, you know what? It's been a really long time since I've seen this movie, so rewatching it again has changed some of my opinions on it for sure. Do we want to get into the plot summary?
We'll work at the summary. This movie is more montage.
There is like three montages in the film, which is crazy.
Yeah, but also in the way, like, there is a plot, but it really feels at parts like it's going beat for beat for beat. Like, not in the traditional film plot way, but in more like there's a lot of time skips.
Yeah, I mean, the movie starts at the end, where they discover Captain America in the ice before... flashing back to little boy Cap and how tiny Steve is. Steve meets German scientist. Scientist boosts him up, makes him a big guy. Then he becomes a Bond salesman.
He takes his glasses off and looks in the mirror and says, "Big change.
Big change. Now it's time to sell bonds for war. 10% boost in every state."
He looks at Johann Schmidt and says, "I'm going to put some dirt in your eye."
I've punched Hitler over 200 times.
Okay. Well, we'll get to it.
And then
it's a good... I like the plot.
Yeah, so it's Bond salesman into...
He gets tricked into
searching for Bucky.
He gets tricked into being basically a singing monkey for the U.S. government, selling war bonds instead of doing the actual work, because the general doesn't like him, and they think like, well, you're just a scrawny little failure still. You just got big muscle now.
He's a lab rat. He's not an army. So they trick him into war bonds.
He single-handedly takes down a fucking top German research base behind enemy lines. And they're like, well, I guess you are a captain now. And then we get to montage number 3.
Yeah.
Montage number 2.
Yeah, or whatever. Maybe there's only 2.
Of them attacking Hydra bases. Johann Schmidt, the Red Skull, who I can't believe we haven't mentioned yet. Because he's pretty important. main villain, he's screaming and pissing himself and shitting and kicking people, and then he's gonna I'm gonna nuke New York, LOL, and then he flies away, and then Cap is like, no you don't, and then he punches him so good that he evaporates into space-time.
No, he grabs the Tesseract and teleports into the ocean.
I've had the same, I'll say it now, I've had the same thought every time I've watched this movie. He picks up the Tesseract and just holds it while he's disintegrating, and I'm like, just fucking drop it! What are you doing?
Yeah, and then
he
Cap crashes the ship into the ice, and we loop back to the start.
We're going to talk about the ending during the post-credits scene portion, because I think that should have been the post-credits scene.
The post-credits scene
The real post-credits scene is nothing.
The post-credits scene is literally a trailer.
It's just a trailer for Avengers, which...
We'll get that.
I have things to say.
So, plot. Let's talk about the plot now that we've summarized it.
I like it. I think it's very good.
The plot?
It's very... you don't get a lot of character growth because of the structure, but I feel like that's fine because Captain America's unique in what do we see in the other three main boys we've seen so far. Tony Stark starts as an arrogant jackass who doesn't give a shit about anyone, and he has to change to be a hero. Bruce Banner is kind of a fucking coward, and he has to grow to become confident and strong and save the city or whatever from Abomination. Thor is also an arrogant prick, and he has to learn to not be an arrogant prick. Steve Rogers is already done. He didn't need to do the hero's journey. He started at the end of it. And that's kind of the point of his character. Like, even in the original comics, he's always like a... They play with that image later. Like the what does being perfect mean, and the corrupting the uncorruptible, stuff like that. But he is generally always shown as one of the best people to ever live. There's not much room to go up from there. And they try. They try to make him go down. Like the scene where I would argue a secretary basically assaulted him. My mom was like, no, the whole point is he was like leaning into it. He's letting the power corrupt him. And I'm like, is it? Because it didn't really play like that.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of my biggest issues with Captain America in general. Not only do I low-key hate the idea of a superhero that is just captain of this country, especially that is the United States, but he's a really boring character to me.
We'll talk about
a character that is just... I know he's not one note, and you can make him interesting. And I do like when they play around with that, which they do later. But just him being good boy, boy wonder, boy perfect the whole time is kind of boring to me, which is why when I was a kid, I hated this movie. But going back to it now, I can recognize that this movie was fun, and I kind of enjoyed that it was less so like, you know, a lot of the other films were... There was a big bad guy, evil villain, but the real enemy of the film was almost always themselves, right? Tony was fighting against himself.
For most of the movie.
Bruce was fighting against the Hulk, which is himself, right? Yeah. You're fighting against yourself. Thor was fighting against his ego. It was all against himself. There was another villain out there, but it was against himself, whereas this one is more so... it kind of feels like he's fighting against circumstance.
It really feels more like a here's what you need to know before the next movie type of thing, which will get a lot more common. But I feel like they did it well.
I think they did it all right.
Steve Rogers is not really a character. He's treated more like a symbol than a character.
Which, again, is fun to tap into when he feels that he's treated more as a symbol than a character. Like in this movie, when he is a Bond salesman, which is really fun. I enjoyed that portion of the movie because I thought it was kind of funny. Like, hey, we have a superhero, and we're using him to sell war bonds. Like, it's so
like
realistic,
cartoonishly
depiction.
Capitalist America. It's awesome.
Yeah, I kind of love it.
We'll talk more about it when we get into the symbolism metaphor portion, because I have a lot to say about it. I'm going to foolishly attempt to argue that this film is anti-war to a degree, but we'll see how that plays.
Yeah, to a degree. It is also like America propaganda, but
plot writing, the writing, holy shit. The plot was good. The writing, I think, is what sold it, because there's so many moments in this movie where I was like, oh my god, they like Johann Schmidt was like fucking dropping diamonds from his mouth every time he spoke. So many good lines.
I thought the dialogue was a strong selling point of the movie for sure. I really liked the interactions that Steve has with the doctor.
Erskine. He's a forgotten character, but he's one of my favorites.
I will say I'm getting tired of introduce wise old guy who trusts main character into that guy dying 30 minutes later.
Really is just Ben Yeltsin, huh?
I'm just tired of it, and I think it's done worse in this movie than in Iron Man 1.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think actually the biggest strength of Iron Man 1 is that the opening short film is awesome, and then the rest of the movie is okay.
Yeah. There's so many lines. Like, all of the comedy, I felt like was delivered very well.
Yeah, I mean, oh my god.
Even Steve being kind of quippy. I forgot how quippy he was in the first movie, but I think it's fine for him to be that way. It's fine for him to be that way as long as not everybody else is that way.
Yeah. I will say, I wrote somewhere in my notes, let me find it here. It's literally just funny. It's just that what's his face? Chester Phillips, the army sergeant, the general. He's the funniest guy in the film. Because he just doesn't like Tony, or not Tony, he doesn't like Steve, but then does like Steve, and he just has that dynamic where he's just constantly dropping funny one-liners, and it's like, I'm not tired of the Marvel quips yet, so I think he is very funny, and an enjoyable aspect of this film where he's just like, I don't like this guy.
Every movie has had one line where I've been like, that's probably my favorite funny line, like Tony Stark. And for Thor, it was when, oh my god, Odin just like growled at Loki for no reason. For this, I like lost my shit. He was like, "What?
How about cyanide? Does that give you the rumbly tummy too?"
It's like, that's such a good fucking delivery.
Why didn't you kill yourself?
The fucking oh my god, the low tier god image.
Yeah.
It's so good. Every line was delivered very well. It was written very well. The writing elevates this film for me from like good to great, because the plot is so like jumpy forward in time all over the place.
Even like the little interactions I thought were pretty good. Like when he's with the German scientist, I forget his name every single time.
Dr. Erskine.
Dr. Erskine.
He says Erskine, but then everyone else calls him Erskine.
Erskine, whatever. Him, where he's like, oh, what do you mean? You're a surgery tomorrow. I can't give you fluids. Yes. And then he's like, and then it's like, oh, we'll drink tomorrow. And he's like, no, I don't have surgery tomorrow. We drink it now.
That was good. And then the same meaning of that schnapps. Not as much as I should have. It's such a good.
It's a good line.
It's so good. Oh my god! And the writing. It's kind of symbolism, mostly writing. The parallel that they draw immediately between Steve and Schmidt when Zola is increasing the power and he stabilizes at 70, and then he says, I didn't come all this way for safety, and he cranks it up to 100, mirrors the scene where it gets to 70 and Howard's like, we got to shut it off, and he's like, no, keep going. They both stop at 70, they both push beyond. It's like a parallel. They're both driven, but in very different ways. Yeah. They're the same, even though they're so different. It's such a good writing. There's so many good parallels. It's, God, this is my favorite one so far. It's not close. Acting, character, casting, character design. Unless you have more to say about the writing.
Just like, I have a few little things that are just kind of funny. Like, I think the whole thing where it's like do you want to kill Nazis? And then he's like, no, I don't like bullies. I don't care where they're from. Like it's good characterization of this super heroes, whatever. It's then
a little clunky, but
but
it works.
It works. And then there's things like just like the little marks. Again, that general is so funny. Just every single time he's like when Steve jumps on the grenade. Like the big scene that shows that he's brave even if he's wimpy. And then Peggy's like gives him that look, and then the general's just like, he's still skinny.
That's such a good line. The flag scene immediately before it too. Those are peak. Those are such good characterization, such good writing. My favorite line in the movie, because I think it distills the thesis of the whole thing, is Red Skull is just like a villain monologuing about how he's so fucking epic and cool and awesome, and his dick is just so big. And he looks at Steve and says, "What makes you so special?" He says, "Nothing." And then Red Skull gets so like freaked out by that answer, he just fucking freezes for a second and slaps him. It's so fucking good.
It's so funny.
It's so good, and they only said I could do this all day twice, which is something we'll talk about with Endgame. That's fine.
Only twice.
It's only also twice. A strong parallel to show that Schmidt is no greater than the bully who beat him up in the alley at the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
They're the same guy.
Yeah.
And it's writing. I could just sit here and quote this movie for 2 hours. Casting. Holy. I know we've said every time, oh, the casting in MCU movies always good. This, I think, is like pinnacle of. I think they fucking nailed it.
Yeah, I think they nailed it. There's no one I think was miscast or
Haley Atwell, Sebastian Stan, Dominic Cooper, fucking Stanley Tucci, Toby Jones as Arnim Zola is fucking perfect.
Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones, hilarious.
Hugo Weaving is just fucking chewing on the scenery in every scene he's in, and it's so good.
He is very good as Red Skull.
He's like, compared to Loki, Vanko, Abomination, can't even remember his name, and fucking Stain.
Yeah.
I think Red Skull's number one for me.
For
of
villain?
Like early MCU villain, of Phase 1 villain, I think Red Skull's like so good.
I think he's the only one that's actually a villain. Again, the rest I feel like are like subplots to the main character's character development.
It's also like Loki and Stain have some motivation.
Yeah.
Like all of them are just power hungry. But like Justin Hammer, Ivan Vanko, they all have like something driving them. Schmidt is just fucking nuts.
He's just like, he
that's
thinks
his
he's
only
God.
Character trait.
He just thinks he's God and wants to take over the world. He wants a world with no flags. This movie is anti-communist.
I don't know about that one, but sure. I think the communists were also pretty big on flags, though. So I don't know. He feels like a cartoon villain, which is great because that's what he was. I like when they try to give these old characters more to them, like fleshing out Loki, especially the way they do later. So good. I am gonna close Discord. It's like I'm happy that there's one character who's just like, yeah, what are you gonna do? I just fucking suck. And that's his character, and that's good.
I like Sebastian Stan much more in this movie than I like him in any other movie, which I don't know why that's the case.
Well, maybe it's because for a while there was a stretch where the direction for Bucky would be don't show emotion. And in this movie he has shit to do. Yeah.
And he's just like, he's just best friend archetype.
Yeah,
seems good. I really liked his acting. I thought it was good. Whereas,
I feel like
there was less so in the...
There was a missed opportunity to play with something, which was revenge staining the soul. Because the movie's already too cramped, so I'm glad they didn't. But they missed the opportunity of like Bucky gone. There's even a scene that I thought that's weird that it calls back to the I don't want to kill anyone. because he says, I'm not going to stop till ever Hydra agents killed or captured. And that's not something early Steve Rogers would have said. But they don't really play with that at all, which is fine, because the movie's already so big. This is the longest one so far. 2 hour, 4-minute runtime. I saw the runtime and got scared. I want to say there's not a single scene wasted. I think it's earned its runtime. There's like one scene I'd probably cut. But the rest of it, I feel like they really use their time very well.
I really like the scene where he does his little show for 14-year-olds in front of the army troop that just lost all of their like
half of
400 men,
Yeah,
over 400 men, and they're like making fun of him, and then they're like, bring back the girls, and I was like, you know what, if I was at war and hadn't seen a woman in 8 months and just hell, you know what, give them the girls.
I also really like, because it seemed very earnest when he was like, bring back the girls, and Steve was like, I think they only know the one song,
but I'll see what I can do. It's like, yeah,
Oh my God.
fair enough. And then he, of course, goes out and saves the men instead of being a little dancing monkey.
I would have liked if they got an actual German to play Schmidt and Zola. But I'm fine that they didn't, because Hugo Weaving and Toby Jones are just so perfect in the roles.
They do a really good job.
There was one guy who let the German accent slip for a bit and was really obvious when the 3 Nazis from the High Command were there. And he was like, eliminate my enemies. He was like, your enemies? And it's like, you really can't say your with a German accent, buddy.
He tried his best.
Your enemies? Yeah, man. I believe it. What a German guy that is. He tried. There's not a lot to say. Counterintuitively, there's not a lot to say about the casting because it's just so good.
It's very good casting. There's not much. I have no notes, really.
The costume design, very accurate to actual military branches, very accurate for the time, very appropriate for the time.
I think
the Hydra soldier helmet might be a bit overkill for me.
Yeah.
But I thought it worked for what it...
The two-handed salute is crazy to me.
The two-handed closed fist, because they really didn't want to do the Elon.
They're like, rock on. And I'm like, dude, they're just Nazis. Let them be Nazis.
Well,
which is low-key something I respect about this film, that it's more willing, like it mentions Hitler by name. It like talks about the Nazis.
At the halfway point, they just never mention Nazis again.
Well, because after the halfway point, they make the distinction that Hydra is like Nazi times 2. They are the uber Nazis. He doesn't, because Red Skull isn't even with Hitler at the end of the film.
No.
He's doing his own thing, trying to take over the world as well. So it's like they separate it into Hydra, but like I respect that they still kept the World War II-ness of it in the start.
If I'm being honest, especially for this movie, the skull with the tentacles, I think, is a far more like appropriate image than a swastika anyway.
Yeah, because they're fighting against the research agency, Hydra.
Yeah, it fits more into the story than if everything was just fucking Nazi Hitler.
Yeah,
laden.
Again, they weren't fighting Hitler necessarily, but they didn't hide the fact that they were associated, which I thought was good. The
costume design, oh my god. Schmidt's trench coat is perfect.
It's pretty good.
I love, because they've managed to do it in every movie so far. The classic, we got the Mark 1.
Yeah.
We got the adaptation of the Mark 1. Thor was pretty much always wearing his original comic book design. They give Bruce Banner purple pants at one point.
Yep.
And the show costume is pretty much 1-for-1 the 1939 Captain America costume,
which is really funny. It looks
really
so
funny. It looks
accurate
so,
and funny.
It looks
and dumb
so
and
bad on him,
but what it would look like in real life.
Exactly what it would have looked like.
Which is
the
good.
hood barely fits him right.
And it's funny because it's like it low-key does look like something that would come out of that time period too. So it's just like it's really good. And then he gets is more modernized look.
Yeah, they give him the helmet with the wings painted on the side, like the modern look that they give him in Avengers. I'm not a huge fan of the helmet. I think giving him like a World War I era infantry helmet with the A on it, I think that's the best look that he's ever had.
Yeah.
For the helmet. I just really love the outfit they give him. Even after the siege on the Hydra base. Like when he comes back in Captain America uniform proper, it's such a strong design. I like that it gets scuffed and damaged and the shield gets scuffed and they don't fix it between scenes. The continuity for that is just so cool. And it shows that he's not invincible and that he's putting himself at risk here as well.
Yeah.
Kinda. He's still like killing 10 men at a time.
Yeah. So cinematography, CGI and such. I thought it was okay. There was some obvious green screening.
Yeah. The CG was very 2011.
But like the character, like the body, like how wimpy he looked.
Oh yeah.
Was really good. I didn't realize he was that wimpy.
A couple scenes, like the scene of the car ride. Yeah. It was like, this isn't working, buddy.
Yeah. It was like unrealistically wimpy, but it was funny. I think it looked okay. Red Skull's face, I didn't think was all practical, but that was phenomenal.
It was makeup.
It was
the Red Skull's all make. It was They did it so well.
They did it really well. I liked when they like grabbed his skin earlier.
Oh yeah.
When he was like readjusting his face.
You can see they spent all their budget on making Steve look small at the beginning of the film because then a lot of the CG props, like the big plane, when you see Schmidt standing next to the tire, you're like, that doesn't look like it's there.
I also liked how they kept up when Red Skull was wearing the flesh face. You always saw little cuts on the back of his neck from where it was like sewed on, which I thought was really cool.
It's like they put a lot of attention to detail into the design of everything.
Yeah.
It really does feel like a period piece.
Yeah.
Which I'll get to it.
I thought a lot of the cinematography was okay. I didn't think it was anything like, oh wow, this is beautiful, spectacular.
The lighting team was really doing a lot of heavy lifting.
Yeah, I think set design was really good. I think it looked really accurate to the time. It was just that like it was just a lot of samey-ish shots, and then when they really broke away from that, I think the CGI kind of held it back. Like when Bucky fell.
Oh yeah,
that looks terrible.
Was not great.
That looks really bad. And it's also, speaking of that scene, sorry, bringing it way back. Both times when Steve experiences someone important to him dying, the reaction is not enough.
Like, reaction from him.
Yeah, like when the German scientist dies, he's like, "Oh, damn, this sucks," and then he instantly runs to try and catch the guy
because he has to.
Because he has to. Like I know, I get he's a soldier, so he has to keep on trucking. And then when Bucky dies, he doesn't. He just gets sad and slams his head against the wall. And like, of course, he tries to drink later, but even then, he can't get drunk. And then he starts flirting with Peggy again, and he's fine. It's just like it's not like a really big reaction out of him that I would have kind of wanted to see.
I would want to see a big reaction for it, but I kind of get why they didn't.
Yeah,
because the movie was going. Yes, but the movie was going for long enough already.
Yeah,
there's so many little missed opportunities they could have done, but that would have required there to be 2 1940 era Captain America movies, and they did not want to do that.
No.
So they just had to deal with the cards they were dealt with that, and it's not great, but you know.
Do you think the Bucky death scene just felt so anticlimactic to me? And I get it, he comes back. But, like, I wish they held on that longer, because I really didn't feel anything there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's
maybe it was the bad CGI. Maybe it wasn't the big reaction that I'd like to see from Cap. But, yeah.
It really felt like, oh, shit, we need to kill Bucky here.
Yeah.
Like, we need to put in a scene that...
where he can somehow get frozen in the water.
Yeah, that's really what it really does at times feel like. We need this scene. We're not trying to tell a story. We're trying to summarize his history so that he can be in the big Avenger movie.
Yeah, so
which
he
is
can be
fine.
the captain for the Avengers movie.
I still think it serves well as even as a standalone movie. I think it serves well. Mm-hmm. It's certainly helped by the ensemble of it all later, but I feel like maybe I'm too kind on it. Maybe I'm giving it too much leeway.
I'm giving it too much leeway.
Maybe.
There's also minor bits of characterization that I thought was funny, like Stark being exactly like Tony.
Oh my god.
Just Tony.
I wrote what did I write? Howard Stark was a prick, parentheses, good way. Oh my god. Oh, we didn't talk about the music. Soundtrack, Alan Silvestri, the same guy who did the Avengers soundtrack. He did all the Captain America movies. Mm-hmm. Again, I've said it before, Alan Silvestri is very well one of the best composers alive today. Mm-hmm. The soundtrack is fucking stellar. I've had Star Spangled Man stuck in my head for a month.
It's a good song. It's a good song.
I'm Canadian. I do not like the military. I do not like the American government. And yet part of me during that scene was still like, fuck yeah, America.
We want you. We want you.
Somebody get me a fucking beer. But it's so effective. It's good at capturing propaganda from that era that it becomes propaganda in a way.
Well, I mean, the movie is vaguely propaganda. So...
Vaguely, it's very. The messaging is very strange. I feel like they wanted. Half of the movie was kind of trying to push. I don't want to say anti-America. I want to say not super pro what America is right now agenda, but then the other half had to contend with the fact that it's like, yeah, but they still got to beat the Nazis.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how anti-war we make the characters because they still got to beat the Nazis because that's what Captain America does.
Yeah.
And those you can definitely feel those two parts in tension quite a bit. Like Steve, that's what we'll talk about now. We'll talk about that now. The symbolism, metaphor, meaning part of it all.
The earliest one that's funny is when he steals the Tesseract. He kills the guy, blood goes everywhere, and then
the skull turns red.
It hits the Hydra skull, and it's like, oh my god, it's Red Skull. And I'm like, okay.
There's so much foreshadowing to the Red Skull. I love that they do it.
I also really like because this is also just like characterization of Cap, but like when he gets in the fight in the alley, he grabs the garbage can as a shield. When he first gets super strong, he uses a car door as a shield. Yes. And before finally getting another shield that he used in the performance, before getting his vibranium shield. I think it's good that they have Cap, and its whole thing is he's always been using this shield because he's not. Yeah. He's despite being a soldier, he's not supposed to be a soldier. He's supposed to be a protector. So of course he wields the weapon that can't hurt people, even though he uses it to hurt people.
Here's the thing I don't like about what they did is they did give Cap a gun, which I'm not. I'm not a fan of that because he is the shield. He's not a soldier. He's a protector. He is the shield of the American way or whatever that American way is or should be. That's what I was gonna get to with this. Here's my case that I'm laying out.
Okay.
The 107th is a very diverse. They have the son of very clearly Asian American immigrants. Mm-hmm. They have a Brit. They have somebody from somewhere Africa who speaks French. They have somebody who only speaks French. Mm-hmm. They have Peggy Carter. They have the general. They have Howard Stark, who's a civilian.
Yeah.
Working with them. The people who are against him, the general talks about how he is getting pushback from Congress constantly about this. Like at the beginning of the film, he was like, I've had to, you know how many hours I had to spend with Senator what's-his-name?
Yeah.
To get this to work. even during the experiment, the senator shows up and is like, "I'm gonna have you shut down if this doesn't work, asshole." And he's just being a prick, and then he does the whole song and dance routine with Cap, turns him into like a capitalist symbol, like uses him like a product, basically. And before the general falls in line and starts going like, "I'm going to look to Steve Rogers for answers," he's very much so not a protagonistic force.
No.
Like when he's like cussing them out after the show, or like, "I don't care if your friend's dead, fuck off."
Well, he does I think his characterization is actually quite good because it's just like he is a general hardened by war who is trying to do anything he can to win this awful conflict, but he's not necessarily antagonistic at all. He's just like, "Listen, I don't have time for this. I got a war to win." And then he gives a lot of things came over my desk. His name sounds familiar. I'm sorry for your loss, sort of thing. But like it's just like, yeah.
They call attention specifically to Hodges as like a contrast. He's like the embodiment of the American soldier, and he's portrayed as kind of a minor foil. Like, I don't want to say villain, but he's not portrayed in a positive way.
He's just portrayed as a bully.
He's completely dropped from the back half.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that just like I feel like it's more of a thing where the whole point is that Cap isn't a soldier. He's a protector. Because if a soldier is someone who's known power their whole life, gains the superpower, it's going to magnify the bad
they become
in them
Schmidt.
Too, right? They'll become Schmitty or whatever.
Schmitty. Werbin.
Johann. They'll become him, and Steve isn't like that. So you need someone. These people bullies. He said, I don't like bullies. I don't care what country they're from. Right.
Yes.
So it's that sort of thing. You have those foils throughout both the U.S. military and the Nazis. You know, like
there's
that's
very good shot that I think does a lot of symbolism during the training camp scenes. We cut to shots of Hodges a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Then the last time we see him is when Steve is coming home from the raid on the Hydra base with the 107th, and we see him leaving a tent, and the camera focuses on him, and he walks forward, but the camera stays. He walks off the frame because he's not important. The best soldier is unimportant because he's not a person. He's not fighting for anything. He's just fighting. And we never see him again after that. He's never even mentioned. And I think I was like, that's a really cool shot. He's like the film is leaving him behind on purpose.
Yeah.
And that's my thesis, is that those that represent America, the country, the senator, Hodges, the general, early on the general, he changes during the course of the movie. They represent America, the country, are portrayed in a pretty negative light.
Mm-hmm.
They're not helping. Steve Rogers represents America, the idea, what people think it should be.
Yeah.
And that's my thesis.
I think that is kind of the point of Captain America, and the only way to tell an interesting Captain America story is to make it America the reality versus America the idea.
Oh my god! And we get to that so much with Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
but that's
different movie. That's why
we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually. But yeah, that's the only way to tell an interesting Captain America story, right? And have him deal with the conflict that is America the country versus America the idea. And it's nice to have him sort of represent what the propaganda is selling you on. He wants to build that utopia, that patriotism, that everything that the propaganda sells you on, without actually just being a horrible, terrible, evil corporation, organization, government, everything, you know?
It's a lot. I think it's a really good message. I think it's probably the movie with the most cohesive point to make so far.
I don't know about that. I don't think it's super cohesive. I think, again, it jumps around a bit
Yeah.
and stretches time a lot on purpose. But it's definitely a movie with a message, and it does set up Cap very well.
Yes.
It feels like a lot of setup for Avengers. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It feels like a lot of setup rather than its own self-contained story. But that's kind of an issue with the greater MCU as a whole, is that every movie is kind of a setup for the next one, and that's what they want you to do so that you watch the next one.
Yeah, that's definitely what it's going to become very soon. But do we need to say how this fits into the timeline, by the way? Most of the movie is 1942 to 1944. I don't remember. No, it's not the end of the war. He doesn't go under at the end of the war. Defeating Hydra is not 1945. And then the final scene and the opening scene are 2010.
Yeah.
That
the movie came out in 2011.
This is happening. Cap running through Times Square is happening on the Friday after the events of Iron Man 2, Hulk, and Thor. All four of those movies happen back to back.
And that's why Nick Fury is so
Fury's
exhausted.
So, like, mellow and, like, this is... Look, man. There's a lot that happened.
I do think the way they tried to reintroduce Cap to modern America is crazy.
Times Square, like, capitalists, like, holy fuck.
No, just like putting him in a fake room with a game that was played before he even went under.
Like, what are you doing?
What are you doing here?
That seems so fucking...
That's what's a crazy mistake.
That seems so crazy.
And then he bursts through the wall and runs into the middle of Times Square. Like, why are you even that close to Times Square?
Why are you in New York?
Yeah.
Doesn't S.H.I.E.L.D. have a base in the fucking middle of nowhere in Washington State? Why?
Yeah, you could have made this much easier on yourselves.
At least put him in...
Or just tell them right away.
At least put him in Washington, D.C., not a city that looks literally nothing like it did 100 years ago. It's kind of weird. I don't know why they did it the way they did it. It's fine.
Oh, something that I thought was really cute that I forgot to mention. Peggy holds on to a photo of Cap, like, after he's gone.
Yes.
That's him as a weakling, like, not him as a super soldier. Is little him. Little scrawny Steve
little
Rogers.
fucking dude.
Little tiny baby boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like me. He looked like me. Except for shorter.
Except for shorter. And more baby. and nothing like me, actually, now that I think about it.
Now that I think about it.
It's really good. It's good.
I wish we got to see more of the boys.
Yeah.
I wish they weren't one-dimensional characters.
Well, we do, but not canonically anymore.
Oh.
There was a show.
Oh.
There was a sequel show called Agent Carter that takes place in the 50s that follows the founding of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Peggy Carter's, in 2 seasons, Peggy Carter and the boys just kind of fucking around doing shit. But alas, when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. got booted, Agent Carter was taken with it.
Yeah.
So we have to watch Iron Fist. We have to watch both seasons of Iron Fist, but we're done with Peggy Carter, which is so cool to me. I'm happy about that.
Because she's like one of the first and best written women
She's like
in all of these movies.
Yes.
The first and best written woman.
Oh my fucking god, a breath of fresh air from fucking Gwyneth
Paltrow. Oh
Jesus,
my god.
And fucking Liv Tyler.
Oh my god.
It's Haley Atwell, please.
It's been so bad. It's been so bad. We have not been eating and we seem so sexist.
Natalie Portman, you know what? Natalie Portman wasn't great in the Thor movie. I was only praising her performance so much because I was so starved of a good female character that I forgot what they were like.
That was me with Black Widow. I was like, you know what? This is good enough. Good enough characterization.
Hey, it's fine. Man, I'm so glad we see so much more of Peggy Carter.
Yeah, I'm so glad.
I'm so glad her next appearance isn't her dying on screen.
I'm so glad her next appearance isn't Cap and her growing old together.
She does appear in in Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Very good naming scheme, guys. Thank you for that one. She disappears an old lady in like a hospital room.
Yeah,
I believe. And Steve goes to visit her, and it's like, it's kind of weird, honestly. We'll talk about it later.
We'll get there.
I just had a realization, but we'll talk about it later. It's just a good movie, man. It's just peak absolute cinema.
Do you have any other funny tidbits?
I have a couple misc things.
I have a bunch of missed things. Wilhelm scream again.
Yeah, Wilhelm scream. That was perfect. The scene when he's putting the bird in the water. When he's over the radio with Peggy.
Oh yeah.
I think all three characters in that scene are doing some of the best acting. Certainly Haley Atwell and definitely Chris Evans.
Yeah.
The best acting of their career.
It is a really... It's sad. It's heartbreaking.
I watched this movie with my mom, and when it did, I was like, I've seen this movie before, but I'm getting really emotional about this scene for some reason, and it cut to Tommy Lee Jones' character and just his facial acting, and my mom was like, that almost got me. Yeah. I almost started crying.
And I mean, like, in a way, even though I know that obviously Steve is alive, but to them, he's dead.
Oh, yeah.
And for the most of their lives, he will just be dead.
The general's never going to see him again.
Yeah.
I think the only character that we know for sure canonically lives to see him again is Carter.
Yeah.
I think everybody else is...
And I'm glad they gave them a happy ending. Went back, changed that shit. He gets in time for the date.
Hey, I'll get you in touch with Abby. She has some thoughts. Abby does not like Peggy Carter. She is hardcore. Steve and Nat should have ended up together, which I think is not supported by the text. I think it's crazy that she thinks that. Me and Abby have never fought as friends, with one exception. We had like a knockdown, drag out, like shouting match about this.
That's crazy. Another funny thing, this is the Space Stone.
Yeah.
And he's using it to power all of their weapons.
Well, we don't know where the guy's getting transported to.
Well, yeah, but still, I feel like he could have done a lot more with the Space Stone than power their army.
He only knows it as the Tesseract.
Yeah,
I'm assuming he doesn't know about what the Infinity Stones are or what they even do.
Yeah.
He just is using it as a power source.
It's just funny to think back on this and be like, yeah, that's not you. That's the Space Stone.
It is really funny.
He could be doing some reality warping shit with that, and instead he's powering guns that vaporize people.
It's really funny to retroactively look back and go like, that's just a fucking Infinity Stone that they're just playing with.
Yeah, they're just playing
It's really, especially the Mind Stone, especially the one in Vision's head.
Yeah.
It's so, looking back on that, it's so fucking funny to be like, he's just got like a nuclear bomb strapped to his forehead, like for the entire movie.
Yeah, which is like it makes sense. It recontextualizes it in a good way.
No, I really love. I just keep not knowing what to say, so I just keep thinking I really love this movie, and I do.
Do we have a review for this one?
No. Well, I looked, and it's like. Yeah, they're like bad, but they're not like funny bad. They're just kind of like
just boring.
Roger Ebert being very long-winded and Roger Ebert about it. So, you know.
Fair enough. The Stan Lee cameo. I thought it was funny. I thought he'd be taller when Captain doesn't come out.
That's a funny line. It's also like a big fuck you to the senator. The MCU has some relationship with senators.
Yeah, they really
every
hate
senator that we've seen is like a fucking asshole.
He's either like a big guy who's just like a dick, or like just like portrayed as the worst.
A wormy little loser, like the guy from Iron Man.
Yeah,
it's good though. It's a funny through line for these films to have.
Dude, one of the brothers or whatever, they're beefing with a senator.
Oh my! Kevin Feige got like T-boned by a senator's car once, and he's been like fuming ever since.
Yeah. Post credit scene again, terrible. It's just boring as fuck.
If
He punches
we're
thing, and then it's
ignoring-
a literal. It's a literal trailer.
Yes.
It transitions into a literal trailer for a
We
movie.
are ignoring the actual post-credit scene and pretending him waking up in New York is the post-credit scene.
I don't think it's not a post credit scene. It's in a
Yeah.
movie.
There's the thing that recontextualizes it that makes me like, it's not good, but I'm okay with it, is that the Avengers hadn't been announced yet when Captain America hit theaters.
Yeah.
So that trailer was the first anyone would have seen of the Avengers.
Yeah.
So imagine being in the theater when that plays.
This summer.
That would be like fucking crazy. You'd be like, oh my god.
Captain America will return this summer in Avengers.
This summer.
Yeah, the whole movie was setting up the Avengers.
Yeah, but you know what?
They did a good job at it.
It's a filler arc, but it's like they put all of their effort into it.
Yeah.
It's like the best filler arc that I've ever seen. Captain Marvel.
I still haven't watched that movie ever.
Hey, that's gonna change.
Yeah, eventually. 3 years from now.
It gets too much hate, but it's not good. That's the review overall. The final thing... The movie does have 2 cold opens.
Yes, it does.
I wrote, I like both of them a month ago, and then today I had another arrow that says, not really. I think it would have been better if they cut the scene in the Arctic Circle where they find the airplane and just started in Tronsberg in 1942. That would have been such a stronger opening.
I think knowing Cap is alive at the end don't matter.
Yeah.
Like, I think
you're going to see a movie about Captain America, you know that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. But even if you don't, I think it still plays good to see him alive, and that's cool.
Yeah.
There's also a couple slow-mo scenes, and I hate slow-mo scenes. I'm a hater of slow-mo.
Yeah.
So, like, when they're in the montage blowing up things and it's in slow motion, a couple times I'm like, bro, what?
Yeah.
Cool guys don't look at explosions, and there's also slow motions.
Oh my god. Yeah. I did write, where is it? CGI less than stellar, but is made up for the action choreography.
Yeah, the fights are good.
The fight scenes, I really love that you... Every time I see it, I think it's funny when he's in the big plane and the Hydra agents are approaching him, and one of them, like, Counter-Strike idle animation unsheaths and spins his knife in his hand, and I'm like, oh my fucking god, dude.
That's crazy.
It's awesome, though. It's good. I like that the bomb says New York in comically large text. Like, as if they wouldn't know otherwise.
What if you forgot, though?
But I mean, that's of the era, though.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, every bomb, a lot of bombs that the U.S. dropped in Germany had, like...
Fat man.
had, like, with love from New York written on them and shit like that. It was a good period piece. I do want to say, I want to acknowledge, yes, this movie does take place in the past, and yes, it does not highlight things like systemic sexism. It kind of does. It doesn't at all mention things like systemic racism, about the Jim Crow era, Reconstruction. It doesn't talk about that kind of stuff. That's bad. I know. It's a very rose-tinted look at the way the 40s were, but it's not that kind of movie.
It's still, no matter how good the propaganda is, it's still like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, great show, still propaganda.
It's important that we as the audience remember that is a facet of real life, but the movie, it would have been unreasonable for, like, in the middle of a Hydra base for Steve to be like, we need to stop and talk about the way this country has treated African Americans, Bucky. Like, I feel like it's there.
They could have probably at least like, but they didn't need to focus on it. But no, it's still like, again, this is America propaganda.
They could have portrayed the era less rosily than they did.
Yes, for sure.
But that's really it.
What's next on the docket?
I just wanted to acknowledge that. The next movie is The Avengers. Mm-hmm. But we do have to... What's the last thing? Are you done with your misc thoughts, or do you have any more
I'm done with my
ramblings?
misc thoughts.
Okay. Is it good?
It's all right.
Yeah, it was all right.
It's Other than the first Iron Man, this is the best one. I still think the first Iron Man is better.
So your ranking is Iron Man, Cap, Iron Man 2, Hulk, Thor, or Thor, Hulk?
Thor, Hulk. Or no, Hulk, Thor, because Hulk is funny bad and Thor is boring bad.
Yeah, the worst thing a movie can be is boring. I think Cap is just my favorite one.
The problem with this movie is I think the pacing is intriguing. It jumps around a lot. Again, I'm not a big fan of Captain America as a hero, so I'm not a big fan of the story. But it's still I think it's a well done movie. It's good, right? It's 4 frozen men in the ice out of 5. To be clear, it's the same rating that I am giving Iron Man. It's just that Iron Man would be above it for me because I truly do think the opening of Iron Man is just a beautiful short film about, and that one is very explicitly anti-war, American weaponry and bombing.
Well, there's still the scene where he goes to parts unknown Middle East and just rock shit for a bit.
The opening, right? That first 45 minutes or whatever
all
of the
American
film is
media,
really, really good, and then the rest of it is okay. Whereas this one, I think, is solid good throughout it, but it doesn't do anything super special. But it's still pretty good.
All superhero media, especially the Captain America films, exist in contention with the idea of war is bad and no one should die. And the tension of the idea of rah rah America, yes, let's fucking go.
Yeah,
those aren't two really compatible ideas, but 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
I think they did really good.
4 frozen men out of 5.
5 out of 5 Star Spangled Banners.
Oh, Bruce Banners?
No, 5 out of 5. Bruce Banners that have been branded with an American flag cattle prod.
And then he turns into the Hulk and the flag grows to unproportional means.
Oh my god. How does it fit into the MCU? Compared to the rest of it?
It fits as a trailer for Avengers.
That sucks. That sucks. I think tonally, I think it's one of the darker... Thor tried to be dark. I don't think Thor was dark. Thor tried to be gritty and down to earth and realistic, and I think it failed. I think even though it ends on a hopeful note, on a we won the war, his sacrifice wasn't in vain type of note, it still feels really dark.
I feel even the fact that he lived, but everyone he knows and loves is dead, is a sad ending, which I really respect the movie for doing. Of course, Endgame goes and changes that.
Yeah, I've said it before, I'll say it again. There's something special about the Paramount era that I think the Disney era kind of lost. This down-to-earth, this realness, this more muted colors, more realistic characters. I really love this era of the movies. I think there's something tonally that they lost. And I think Captain America is the epitome of that tone. The near perfect blend of the comedy, quippy Marvelisms that we'd come to know and love. And the more serious tone that a story, I don't know, about the Nazis requires.
Yeah.
It's a good balance, I think. I think it fits in very well with the other movies except Hulk. I really don't like Hulk. I like Thor more than Hulk.
At least Hulk is kind of funny because it's I'll just never get over the scene where he's on a bike ringing a bell that doesn't exist. It's just so funny.
Yeah,
get out of my way, and then it's just his hand's not even moving. There's no bell on the bike.
I did not notice an equivalent in this movie of Stain drinking water before it actually gets to his lips, or Banner ringing a bell that doesn't exist, but I'm sure there were some.
Yeah, I did not catch continuity errors. I was watching as closely as I normally do. It just wasn't as obvious.
I think they did a really good job with it.
Yeah, it's a solid film.
I was in continuity. I was expecting, because there's the bit where he has the script written on the back of his shield. I was expecting that to be forgotten about But then when we cut earlier where he's confident and not reading off the shield, you can just barely see the note is gone off the back. And I was like, I thought that would have been one prop, but they actually removed the note between shoots.
Yeah.
Even though they would have been doing it on the same set with the same actors, they thought to remove that. And I think it's a pretty low bar to hit for continuity, but most movies wouldn't hit that today.
Fair enough.
It's a good. I think this is my favorite movie, and I think it will be for a while. Because I know the movie that's going to dethrone it, and that's not for a long time.
We'll see. We'll see what dethrones it for me. But Iron Man 1, the very first one that we watched, is still by far my favorite.
I can already tell you right now, the only two movies that I think I like more are the original Doctor Strange and Guardians 2.
I think it's probably going to be all of the Guardians films.
Man.
Doctor Strange. Only one.
Only the first one.
The second one does not exist.
The second one, I'm so excited for you to actually see WandaVision so you can hate Multiverse of Madness even more.
I actually just... I would rather watch Shrek 3 8 times than Multiverse of Madness once.
That's like 2 full days of Shrek.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's such a terrible movie.
It's not great.
It's the worst movie.
That was the worst conversation I think we've ever had, was leaving the theater, and I was just coping so hard about it. I was like, no, the movie was good. It was good. It was great. It was fine.
I was so upset. I was upset that any money was spent on this movie.
I don't know if Caleb talked to you about when we got home. I just like sat down on the couch. I did not even turn on the light, and I just looked at him and was like, I think that movie was bad.
That was like the last movie that we watched. After that, it was like, I think we're done with Marvel.
Are you excited to watch a movie in 4:3 aspect ratio because they shot it in 4:3 for some fucking reason? Because that's Avengers.
Really?
There's not a single rip of Avengers because it was shot natively on a 4:3.
Oh my god.
The widescreen shots are just the 4:3 but letterboxed.
Oh my god.
Yep. Thank you, Joss Whedon. Very cool.
Well, we'll see you next time. Hopefully in 4:3.
I'll export the whole video in 4:3. That sucks. Tune in next time for Marvel's The Avengers.